Oh yeah, we back with another. Told y'all we going hard all year long, and we finna get into one we should have been gotten to, but it's how they keep trying to ignore the truth about the true landlords of this land. They tell us that science is an objective truth, but science is only as honest as the person holding the test tube. For decades, they have pushed the narrative that the melanated man and woman are latecomers to this land, using DNA as their ultimate shield. But here's the truth they hide in plain sight. Human DNA is 99.9% identical across the entire planet. Let me say that again. Human DNA is 99.9% identical across the entire planet. That tiny 0.1% difference isn't a map where you belong. It's a statistical tool they use to categorize you into boxes they created. While they're busy looking at a microscope to tell you who you are, they are intentionally ignoring the massive 20-ton pictures on the wall. That shit's staring right in their face. Why would we trust a scientist who wasn't there over the ancestors who were there and left us their literal portraits in stone? They have lied to us at every turn about the boats, about the bones, and about the very dirt we walk on. They didn't just take the land, they tried to delete us from the blueprint. Today, we stop looking at their textbooks and we start looking at the evidence that's been staring us right in the fucking face from the beginning. I got a question for you though. If we are all 99.9% the same, why does science work so hard to use that 0.1% to prove the melanated man and woman don't belong to the land they built? Answer that for me. But let's keep it pushing. Let's talk about the Olmec. Some of the first people they gave us a little info on, but not all of the info. We talking about the mother of cultures of the Americas. Look at them big ass stone heads. They scream nigga. Hate to break it to you. Mainstream science tells you these people came from the cold north, yet they didn't carve that straight, silky hair you would expect from that region. You know, the shit that look like dog fur. Instead, they carved the exact grade of hair that grows from your scalp. You know, that nappy shit, them kitchens, that thick, coarse shit. You know the type of shit I'm talking about. That yaki number, whatever the fuck number you wanted to use that fit your shit. You know what I'm talking about. They didn't just carve hair. They carved braids, twists, locks into solid stone. And you think they did that shit because they was bored? Hell no. They did that shit because they knew it was gonna come a time and day where the real landlords of this land need to be reminded of who the fuck they are. And here I am, just as well as many others that done came telling y'all this shit. The artists were so precise that you can see the way the hair is sectioned and braided. A style and a grade of hair that is an identical match to the melanated man and woman. And no one else. They all know it. That's why they don't talk about this shit. And they give us all this other bullshit. It's time to start telling these motherfuckers we tired of that shit. And we giving that shit back to them. They go tell somebody else who they is. We no longer will allow foreigners to tell us who we are. If these people were who the textbooks say they were, why did the ancestors spend years of labor carving our phenotype into the hardest rock on earth? Answer that for me. They were documenting their identity, man. They were documenting that shit for us. But you give me something else if your answer don't align with mine. And answer this for me also. Why does science ignore the fact that the Indians, in their books, have one grade of hair, while the Indians on the ancient walls have ours? Yeah, please tell me. Please. Now let's go deep into the earth. When the Smithsonian, and I'm pretty sure y'all heard this name a lot lately, because they have a lot to do with a lot of cover-ups. But the Smithsonian and the early explorers dug into the ancient mounds across this country. They found thousands of skeletons. But the shape of those bones didn't match the people they put before us today. It matches us, man. It matches you. It matches your parents, your grandparents. It matches our people. Let's talk about the skull shape. Most Native Americans today have round heads. But the people in the mounds, they had long heads. This is the primary trait of our phenotype. Look at the face bones, the jawline. The skeletons in the mounds have pragmaticism, which is a jaw that angles forward, giving room for full lips, a strong chin, that wide nose. Come on, man. There's no hiding this shit. These bodies were robust, you know, just like us, full, muscular. The ladies, thick, tall, and powerful. You won't find that on the reservations today, but I guarantee you where you will find it. In the ghettos all across the rap. And in the ghettos anywhere else where my people is at. That's where you find them. If the bones had a long head, the strong jaw, and the wide nose of your own family, why are we letting them tell us those bodies belong to someone else? Come on, man. Our people don't go for shit like this, but we allowing these people to run that goofy shit on us? Come on, man. If the bones in the mounds were built exactly like yours, why is the expert in the lab trying to tell you they are related to someone from a different country? Now let's address the god of modern history, which I like to call the DNA test. And I know you see all these pretendians, every time we get to spitting facts on this motherfucker, the first thing they say, take a DNA test. Well, I'm finna drop some shit on you, where you can go and spit right back at their ass the next time somebody try to tell you who you are and tell you something about a bullshit ass DNA test. We're gonna give you a little history on the DNA test. We've been conditioned to believe that a spit tube from 23andMe or Ancestry is the final word. But here's the secret. In their own bylaws, these companies categorize their results as educational and informational, or quite literally, entertainment purposes only. These tests are not accepted in high courts or law for tribal enrollment or land claims, because they are based on statistical probability, not biological certainty. 23andMe, since we own it, was recently hit with a $30 million settlement over data security and the accuracy of their reports. They compare your spit to a database of people currently living in a location, not the ancient people of the land. They are using 0.1% of your DNA to create a story that keeps you looking across the ocean, while the 99.9% that makes you a human builder is being ignored. And you know what I mean by a human builder. Ancestors of those mound builders, man. We come from here, not there. They taking that shit and they comparing it to other living people, man, when they know our DNA is 99.9% similar to all other living things when it comes to humans. Think long and hard on that shit. And make sure you let their eyes know this. But if these companies admit in their own legal papers that their tests are for entertainment, please tell me, why are we using the shit? Using their stories to overwrite the history carved into stone by our fucking ancestors. The evidence isn't in the textbooks. It's in the artifacts. It's in the stone. It's in the clay and the copper. The pictures on the walls aren't lying. The motherfucking mainstream archaeologists and scientists are. The corporations are. The Smithsonian is. They lying. In the 1700s and 1800s, the law reclassified dark-skinned indigenous people as mulatto or black to strip them of their land, man. They changed your name on paper to wipe you out of the indigenous database. But they can never erase your face. That's one thing they can't take away from us. And the more they did, they gonna find us everywhere, man. Everywhere. Especially here in America. You are the descendants of the mound builders. You are the descendants of the indigenous that built this country you know as America. Are you going to believe a corporation that admits it's for entertainment, which Ancestry, 23andMe, and all of them have, or the ancestors who left their face, their features, their very grade of their hair on the wall for you to find? I'm going to say this last thing, and tell me I'm wrong, for all y'all that done grew up in the ghettos that look like I do. Think back on all those family members that always used to tell y'all got Indian in you, or the grandparents that got Indian, or the grandparents that are Indian. You think they lying? Why would you choose to believe a foreigner over your blood? Like, share, and subscribe for more content, because we're going hard all year long, people. Peace out.